Commissioner Ochoa.
Here.
Commissioner Hill is absent with notice. Vice Chair Papp.
Here.
Chair Beamsterfer.
Here. Vice Chair Pat, will you do invocation of flag salutes, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here today to review these projects before us and to be as a community with the citizens who came out this evening. We pray that you bless these proceedings, give us wisdom as we preside over them. And Lord, we just thank you for all the blessings you provide every day. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, Vice Chair Pat. Moving on to agenda item number 4 for public comment periods for items not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public present that would like to comment on an item not on the agenda? Okay, would you be able to, do we have cards for them to write their names?
We do have speaker slips, but I only received one for an item on the agenda. They could come up to the lectern, but they do have to announce their name.
If you'd like to approach the podium, please give us your name and address and what the public comment is. Hello.
Can you
Little
check
green
your
light
button,
on there,
please?
and there we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Lorena Ramos Delgado. My address is 1161 Vista, Montana, San Jacinto, California. I kind of live on the border, so I'm more so in Hemet all the time. I just wanted to speak with the members at the committee and just introduce myself. So I am a veteran, and I'm also a student currently at Cal State San Bernardino as a social worker. And one thing that we noticed that our city is in dire need of is access to free emergency medicine. And I have been noticing, I'm also on the page with the Hemet, what's going on in Hemet on Facebook, and I've been seeing an increasing numbers of overdoses that have been happening. And we were wondering if there was any way we could get the committee to support free Narcan to our members in our community. Because it's not only affecting, the homeless population, which a lot of people do think, it's also affecting kids in high school. And a lot of youth are overdosing as well. And we are actually doing an event on Thursday at the farmers market, and we're giving out free Narcan, and we're trying to spread awareness. So we're just hoping that we can get the support from the committee and also maybe future planning, establish permanency for this kind of emergency medicine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Fajardo. Like my colleague here, I'm also a student at Cal State San Bernardino. We identified the Hemet community based on statistics provided by EMS for the County of Riverside. The overdose rate in Hemet is the second largest in Riverside County. In regards to population, the population is like small in comparison to other cities. So we found that, there is a need. And we're trying to collaborate with city officials, public health officials to spread awareness and to equip the community with the free resources of Narcan and, destigmatizing the use of Narcan, because there's this misconception that, that people that need that or whatever are morally wrong or whatever it may be. But as social work students, we recognize dignity and worth of all people. So we really want to help this community and hopefully get some support to do that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, hi. My name is Jessica McDowell, and as my associates and group members have said, we are here to provide information and enlightenment to the community and support and a resource that is Narcan to distribute free of charge to everybody this Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the farmer's market. I don't really know the address, but it's somewhere off of where?
And just send.
San Jacinto? Okay. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adriana Romero. I just wanted to emphasize also that we just wanted to establish like a permanency for our free emergency medicine. We recently went out today, like, I believe it was downtown to pass out flyers to get more people to show up on Thursday for our farmers market. And like, we got a few businesses saying that they do need Narcan because they have had clients that have overdosed, and that Narcan does come in handy to prevent and basically save a life, you know? So I just wanted to emphasize that. Thank you.
My name is Judith McPherson, and our family owns property in the downtown area. And I thank the commissioners for being willing, probably put in hundreds of hours of work for something that you probably never receive proper thanks for and recognition. At the last meeting, I wasn't here, but I saw the video recording that you spent quite a bit of time on the downtown area, how to solve it. That's been a discussion for a long time. And I heard in the discussion that we need more code enforcement officers, more staff. I'm one to say that more money does not equate to better service. Okay, I think it was about 2 years ago when our prior community development director was here. For some reason, city manager and council took away all code enforcement supervision and supervision over the building and safety department away from that individual, moved it over to the fire department, to the new life safety. And it's my belief that just changing location from one building to another does not immediately solve the problem. Although we have seen some recent activity, red tags were posted on 2 key buildings downtown on Wednesday, March the 5th. Albeit the worker for the property owner has been videoed entering and leaving the red tag properties. 1 red tag was removed. Another one had to be put back up. But like I said, more money does not equate to better service and more professionalism. I believe that there's still a culture that could improve with an increase in professional competence. Not everybody, but there is a subset within long-term staff, okay? And a moral compass. Okay, I won't say the name. And I won't have my First Amendment rights stopped because I have been arrested once by the Hemet City Police because a person thought I might say something they didn't want to hear. The manager of the code enforcement department, who is in charge of, code enforcement officers, he supervises. His brother does unpermitted construction work for the property owner that I'm talking of. And I have recorded that activity. And when they don't like me recording, they call the police. And I have a right to make a record of it, turn it into ClickFix, and I've gotten some positive results. The same code enforcement manager engaged in covering up a bribery. The downtown owner bribed a code enforcement officer, and when the enforcement officer reported it by email to the code enforcement manager, the next day the code enforcement manager basically said, "Shut up, it goes no further." That's a crime. I have all of those records. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Any other public comments that are not on the agenda? Anybody on Zoom or any,
I don't show anyone requesting to speak via Zoom, and I didn't receive any e-comments.
thank you, Mr. Hernandez. With that, we are moving on to agenda item 5A, the approval of the minutes of the meeting from March 19th, 2024. Does the commission have any comments or corrections?
None.
May I ask for a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the March 19th Planning Commission meeting.
I'll second it.
And that passes. Okay, moving on to item 6A, extension of time number 24-005. Assistant Planner Walton.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Jordan Walton, Assistant Planner with the Community Development Department. Tonight for your consideration is extension of time 24-005. The property owner for this project is Iron Spider Incorporated. The project is located on the northeast corner of Kirby Street and Fruitvale Avenue. It is respectfully recommended that the Planning Commission adopt Planning Commission Revolution, approving a 2-year time extension for tentative parcel tract map 36929 to subdivide a 5.3 acre lot into 20 single-family residential lots with 2 open space lots. The applicant is currently working with engineering staffs to obtain approval and recordation on the final map. On March 28, 2024, the Development Review Committee evaluated the previous conditions and have recommended the revised conditions that include compliance with today's building and fire codes, as well as engineering criteria. These conditions are included in your staff report. And a previous adopted mitigated negative declaration was adopted in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act by City Council Resolution number 4787. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
All right, does the commission have questions for staff?
I do have one question. In regards to comment number 66 and 67, there seems to be a little bit of a conflict. 66 states that the applicant shall form a homeowners commission or homeowners association. And the following one, number 67, says if forming an HOA. So maybe that was a typo. Maybe we need to take out the if.
Commissioner Otero, our Public Works Deputy Director is here this evening and can respond to that question for 66 and 67.
Good evening. Yeah, that is a typo. It was just leaving the option open to form an HOA or if they wanted to annex into the CFD. Because at this time, I didn't know what the option was. So I wanted to leave that open for them. So we can change that.
No further questions.
Will there be a homeowners association for this map?
According to the applicant that I spoke with today, they said no. They would like to annex into the CFD.
I did notice in the conditions of approval that there were some changes in red and some of them were stricken through.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming that those have been met already and that's why they've been removed?
No, they've been changed. The engineering conditions there was very minimal. There's maybe 11 to 15. So in order to make sure that they were updated with the current, requirements for WQMP and those kind of things and our standards, I just went ahead and put in our typical standards and then adjusted for the project.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I have a question, in reference to the infrastructure of the roads. Some of that was striked out on the roads and I like the halfway marker, I believe. And then it was later written, but are they, whoever is coming to this development after the extension, are they still going to continue to improve the roads?
Yeah, I don't know. The condition that I have, I don't know if it's the final number because the ones that I'm looking at right now, I think it's a little bit different, but I do have the requirements for Kirby and Fruitvale for the right of way and then, the requirements for construction in there. So they did get put in there.
And is this the first extension or the?
Question for planning.
Yes, this is their first extension.
So they're allowed two more after this, or is it one more?
They potentially could have two more.
Did I read somewhere that formerly there was an automatic extension under COVID?
That is correct. So the expiration date technically would have been March 13th, 2020. And because of that, the city council adopted an extension for all development in the city that was either active or about to expire between 2020 and 2022, which extended the map to March of 2024. And then from there, they have a maximum of two more extensions available.
I have one question. Is there a reason? Is there a process that we're butting up against time-wise for this developer?
Yeah, so what we've noticed, and you may have noticed, commissioners, you may have noticed some extensions coming forward. With the economic conditions and the fluctuations in market conditions over the past 10 years has affected developers and development of residential subdivisions. So we may, the applicant may be here tonight to share that information, but they are requesting the extension to allow them additional time so that they can take this forward through the civil process for final map approval and recordation.
One more question. Has the owner of the property partnered with a land developer to eventually build these homes?
That's a question I'm not aware of a home builder at this time. The applicant has partnered with a civil engineer to develop the mapping process and the recordation. Typically, once the map is recorded, it is even more attractive at that time for a home builder to come in to develop the site.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll go ahead and open up public hearing. Are there any members of the public present or online that would like to comment on this item? Mr. Hernandez?
Chair Beamster, I don't show anyone online requesting to speak, and I did not receive e-comments.
That will close public hearing and ask for a motion.
Motion to extend the time for number 24-005, requesting 2-year extension for tentative track map 36929 to subdivide a 5.3 acre lot into 20 lots for single family residential homes and 2 open space lots.
I second it.
And that passes. Moving on, item 6B, extension of time number 24-004. And Assistant Planner Walton.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this presentation will be on the extension of time 24-004. The property owner for this project is Archon Homes Incorporated. The project is located off of Seven Hills Drive, west of Leon Avenue. It is respectfully recommended that the Planning Commission adopt Planning Commission Revolution approving in a 2-year extension of time for tentative track map 24067 to subdivide a 19.5 acre lot into 91 single-family home senior homes. The applicant is currently working with engineering staff to obtain recordation of the final map. On March 28th, 2024, the Development Review Committee evaluated the previous conditions and have recommended revised conditions that include compliance with today's building and fire codes, as well as engineering criteria. These conditions are included in your staff report. And a previous adopted mitigated negative declaration in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act by City Council Revolution number 4257. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
All right, does the commission have questions for staff?
Would you be able to put an exhibit up that shows us exactly where in Seven Hills the extension of time?
I don't have an exhibit included with this presentation slides.
That's thank you for that. I believe we have some folks here from the area that might want to see where the area exactly that we're talking about.
Have any other questions for staff?
Not at this time.
I have a question reference to couple things on the mitigated declaration was CEQA was in my understanding, looks like it was the last one was in 2008. Is that, if that is true, how many years apart? It seems like 16 years is a long time for the last report. And I don't know if there's anything that has to change after 10 years. I mean, the property around there changes in 10 years. So I don't know if there's any other newer mitigated declaration report from the 2008 from what I was reading.
Yes, Chair Beamstriffer. This one is unique. So the city council took action on the project. There was a mitigated negative declaration for this track map. Since then, once the approval was in place and the environmental action was taken, the state of California over the past 16 years has been allowing automatic extensions established through state law Just kind of give you a chronology of that. In Senate Bill 1185, granted the MAP an automatic extension to 2011. Subsequently, Assembly Bill 333 granted the MAP an extension to 2013. Assembly Bill 208 then extended it to 2015. And then Assembly Bill 116 established the extension to 2017. And then most recently, the extensions were provided by council more recently to address state law extensions on February 27th, which extended the MAP to March 9th of 2024. This would be the last extension. And the environmental determination would be in accordance with this project. When we reviewed the conditions of approval, the mitigation established for the initial study, mitigated negative declaration, will still be in place, and those are customary for this type of development. So it will still be required. In addition, we did make updates to the conditions relative to building codes, fire codes, as well as engineering criteria.
I have a couple other questions too, because I noticed in the report, they have so from Seven Hills, it looks like the project's going continuation from Seven Hills into the new development. But what is the future planning with the infrastructure for Lion Avenue? And will that project have any? It doesn't seem like they're going to do anything to Lion Avenue because the access isn't through Lion. But what is Himmett's plan with Lion Avenue going to Domagoni? And
Yes, there is an extension planned, and they will be required because their property abuts Lion Avenue's right away. They will be required to provide half-street improvements on Lion Avenue along the frontage of their property.
if I can make one note, when they do put that in consideration, right? This thing just doesn't work. Oh, wait. Oh, here you go. Never mind. I'm just pushing on this. So right here in that area there is a really bad drainage issue that every time it rains there, it's just puddles and puddles and puddles. And from what I understand is the way the drainage is shaped is almost like a 90-degree angle underneath. So it causes a lot of water to stop and not flow through, and it backflows, and then it just kind of gets everywhere in that area. And that's just something, when this project's coming in, it's just going to create more of a mess, I imagine, with the runoff that they use. The city really needs to look at that draining right there at that corner at Chamber and Lions. Other than that, I don't think I have any other questions about it.
Go ahead.
Director Monique, I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask a question about something you offered up. You said I believe you said the last extension of time expired on March 9th of this year. Is that correct? Just curious as to when the applicant applied for the extension of time.
Oh, yes. February 29th, 2024.
That's cutting it pretty close. Technically speaking, I believe they should apply 30 days prior, but we'll cut them some slack.
So I do. The Seven Hills Drive and its current state with the homes all around it. Are we prepared for traffic in this area for the amount of homes that they're going to put there? Traffic study wise. That's a lot of homes going in there with only two exits. I know there are a lot of golf courts. There's a lot of walkers. You know, this is a community in itself. Are they prepared? Are we prepared?
Yes, so so this plan does align with the approved, plan. And it also includes roadway connections, to provide greater accessibility. The improvements also provide the opportunity for, additional circulation through that community. So perhaps, there's limited access now, but through this development, there would be improved access.
Does the commission have any other questions for staff? No? Okay, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and open up public hearing. Are there any members present that would like to speak on this agenda item? Go ahead and approach the podium. Please state your name and address, please. Wait, up to the podium with the microphone, please. So everybody can hear you.
My name is Carol Reeves, Reeves. I live at Seven Hills on Almond Tree, and my house backs up to that path. The path between the golf course and the property of interest. Do you follow that? I walk that property every day. Excuse me, do you want me to point it out
Is this
on the
what-
map?
There's a little laser pointer up there, that area right there.
I'm just riding here. Okay? This is MWT property.
Can you please approach the microphone again for public record? Sorry.
I've lived in that home for 25 years and I've watched it. And Archon is the company that built our homes. And then they wanted to build homes on that piece of property. That was probably about in 1999 when they finished ours. And it was disapproved. So they built homes over on Chambers across from the elementary junior high school. I have not been able to follow because I haven't gotten any information what's happened since then, since they finished those homes. Like I say, I walk that property every day along with many dog walkers, and it's not property to have homes built on, my opinion, and all the opinions of the people that we walk with. It is a major flood plain. If any of you lived here in the valley in about 1978, we had a major flood, San Jacinto River, from the lake up in the mountains. It was a major flood. This valley has a terrific flow, capable of flowing water. And it goes right through there. The Salt Creek water bed is, I'll call it a bed because I don't really know what to call it. The major concrete river. MWD, I've been working with for about 6 months now because of the people, homeless, variety of undesirables that come in and use that whole neighbor as a trash bin. I've worked with the city, keeping trash, trying to keep the trash off of Lion, but we just get it cleaned up. MWD also volunteers and helps clean Lion. It's not working. I'm working major with MWD to get the whole area taken care of. And you know, they own all of this down here at the bottom where the end of the Seven Hills property is, and then all that drainage area, and then along Dominagoni. And I'm not exactly sure how far north it goes, if McSweeney still have that. I have a lot of paperwork from realtors that show me the names, addresses of everybody that owns pieces of property there. But I want to help take care of this problem, but I don't want to get too involved. I don't want to lay awake nights working on it. I do with the trash. I ride that path that goes, the left white line is where that path is that the golf course uses for maintenance, trucks and stuff. I drive it every morning and pick up all the trash that's out there every morning. It averages 5 to 10 pieces a day that I pick up. If there's, I don't know if it blows off the golf course or from the trash from the field. It depends on the way the wind blows, I'm assuming. Now, I hadn't, since I received this letter, I hadn't received the information that Seven Hills Drive would probably be opened up because of access to 91 homes, which is usually 2 to 3 cars a home, sometimes 4. They put in the 200 homes along Stetson and Chambers, and they have trouble getting out of there, and that would disconnect with this. So it would definitely complicate traffic. They did put a signal at whatever street that is by Manicare. Anyway, it's Elk. They put in a signal at Elk, and that allows those people to get out of there at the signal. But and then they could go the backside on Chambers. So if they open up Seven Hills Drive, which is 25 miles per hour with walking guards for the golfers, we have trouble keeping them at 25 now. And if you have people coming home from work, they're not going to drive 25 miles an hour. The maintenance, the gardeners, the housekeepers, they don't drive 25, even though we constantly remind them. But anyway, the access of Seven Hills is definitely a priority, but the watershed is major because we could have some good floods through there. And I don't know how you could put 91 homes on, what was it, 19 acres and a half? And not have water problems.
Thank you, Ms. Reeves. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Are there any other members of the public? Will you please approach the podium, state your name and address, please?
Good evening. My name is Ray Graffius, 1889 Almond Tree Street. I'm going to go right where Carol left off real quick. Trash. She's in charge of trash for property owned by Acorn. She has to do it. And guess what? I clean up the graffiti on property owned by Acorn. I buy the paint when there's graffiti on the K-rails at the end of Seven Hills Drive. I paint over it. Our city has been called, our city workers are taxed to the max. They don't have time for that. They do not. Potholes are more important. So between Carol and myself, we're not looking for a gold star or anything. We're taking care of what Acorn should be doing. It is their property. We already have weeds on that property that hit my hip. And we're coming into fire season. I don't see how we can justify allowing this supposed home builder an extension. We all take pride in our homes in Hemet. We have an association. There's our rules committee. She enforces our rules. We keep our lots weed free. If not, we're told about it. If we keep ignoring it, we're fined. How does this home builder get away with this stuff? I do not understand. Have we complained about it? Yes, we have. Is Acorn here tonight? I guess not. I think this is a mistake, okay? I will continue to do the graffiti for the city of Hemet, for the people in Seven Hills. She will continue to do the trash. And on another note, very few of us in Seven Hills got this notice. I got mine last Monday. Okay, 1 week. Most people got nothing. I have some elderly, I'm 70, but there's folks in their mid 80s, high 80s that live on our street. They've come to me. I've only been in Seven Hills for 2 years, but they come to me and they're scared. They don't understand. That thing was sent out is so confusing to folks in that age group. And I need to go back to them because they want me to report what happened here tonight. So if anything, if you're going to approve this, I understand. You have an obligation to the city, but I need to report to these people. And I would like maybe if you're thinking about approving it, maybe giving us an extension for a month so we can talk to the folks that need to be talked to, that need explanations. They won't come here. They don't drive at night. Most of them are already in their PJs, you know, and they just don't understand. And I think as citizens of Hemet, we need to explain it to them. We really do. Can you imagine us if we were in our 90s and we didn't understand? What would we be? Afraid. Afraid. But I understand you got to do what you got to do. It's best for the city, okay? And like I said, Carol and I will continue to do this, but whatever you all decide to do, the home builder, Acorn, needs to be contacted and needs to be held accountable like all the citizens of Hemet. Okay, thanks, guys, for your service.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments? Nope. Please approach the microphone a little more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, commissioners, planning commissioners. Yes, my name is Julio George Araujo, Araujo Jr., president of Archon Homes. And Archon Homes has been a builder in the Hemet San Jacinto Valley since the early 1980s. They built some of the finest projects in the Hemet San Jacinto Valley, including quite a few in Hemet, including the project that you live in there, which was one of the most sought after, highly regarded projects in Hemet there at the Seven Hills. That's a project there that you see over to the left of the project. In regards to the weeds, yes, every year we are required to cut down the weeds, and it's done kind of on a timely basis because what you have here in the winter time, especially with the amount of rain that we had this year, it's done, you let the weeds grow up to a certain point. In addition to that, the city of Hemet, they always have their notices that go out as to when they want to have them cut down. So we do that each year, and that will be coming up, and you'll see it nice and clean as far as the weeds are concerned. As far as the graffiti, you know, those are the things that are somewhat hard to control, and that is a reason why it's important that this project be done, because I think it'll alleviate some of the big concerns that you have. Keep in mind that it's being designed so you have an entrance there at the Seven Hills. And remember, this project has always been part of that. So it's the idea is for it to have been done all along. As far as the access on Lion, that is set up to have a gate and what they call a Knox box, which is so that the police and the fire department can get in there if they need to, but it's not meant to be one where you have cross traffic. So that is intentional to be able to solve that issue there, because that's, I think as a resident of Seven Hills Drive yourselves, I would want that project done so that we can close off that area once and for all. And to have it developed with senior houses as what you are in. And which would take out any question mark as to what could happen in the future, just say that we didn't develop it. And we did, our emphasis has been over the last several projects that we did. The one I think somebody mentioned over there by Chambers was also for seniors. You know, we have built for, even when we were building family projects in the valley, we started emphasizing the single-story homes because of our senior residences and residents. And so we appreciate the seniors, and we have built for them for years and years. And so I just wanted to mention that. Thank you to the staff, particularly Miss Alanis later. I think she puts in a lot of time and effort to get things done and so forth. And I just wanted to address some of those concerns that you have on that. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Are there any members online or e-comment that comment?
I don't show anyone online requesting to speak. No comments received.
With that, we'll go ahead and close public hearing. One thing to say, I don't know, when the SeeClickFix apps, if they ever use that and take pictures of large trash loads or obvious graffiti, would the city just send Acorn a bill to collect the trash or give them a notice to clean up the property that they own?
So yeah, we do have the SeeClickFix app that when I can also hand out. I do have some information about that. And if you have access to phone, it's an app that we have through the city that if you do have issues such as, weed issues or graffiti, you can let us know, and it helps the city to know where that's happening. And then it is reported to the code enforcement division. And we are keeping track of all of the graffiti and weed abatement issues throughout the city so that we can address it. Now, as far as whether or not it gets billed, that I don't know if I don't have the answer to that. If it gets billed to the property owner, I would have to reach out to code enforcement to identify what the procedures are for graffiti abatement.
And with that, ask for a motion. For extension of time.
I still think we need to have some discussion on,
I believe this is the SDR will come later on when they come to propose homes, correct? This is just
That is
plot.
correct.
This is just plot
the
as is.
extension, yeah.
This is yes, this is the extension of time for the track map recordation. When the home builder is ready to facilitate development, the planning commission will be reviewing the actual design and layout of the homes and architecture and fencing and walls. And we'll have more details about the development design. But what you see as far as what was presented this evening is what was approved. The track design will remain as currently designed.
I wasn't part of the original approval, and each time I think I have to say that. I do have a problem with the traffic. I'm very sensitive to Stetson, and I've had family members live on Seven Hills. I think that's a lot of people and a lot of traffic. And it just, to me, is, I just want to go on record for that, because I don't really believe that 91 in an area like that is truly what that community needs. That's my record. I want to go on record for it.
I have a question that might help clear some of these things up. With respect to the previous entitlement for which a mitigated negative declaration was prepared, what would have been the underlying entitlement since the map is not approved yet?
So the underlying entitlement is the development of it's a tentative tract map. So the entitlement was to facilitate approval of the number of units and residential units. So that was analyzed. And also, the overall analysis looks at the zoning, what's permitted, the number of units. So the entitlement of itself was a tentative tract map for senior homes.
But if the map hasn't recorded yet, are those conditions of approval enforceable?
Yes, so it's subject to the expiration of the timeline. So the applicant would be required to obtain final map approval and compliance with the conditions of this project prior to recordation.
And for the mitigated negative declaration, there was in fact a traffic study for the number of homes that were proposed.
So yes, that would have to have been part of the analysis for the overall development. And the information on the findings would have to also be made in consistent map act findings as well as environmental findings as well as consistency with our zoning requirements. So that would have to have been looked at that time.
Okay, and then my last question would be, are there conditions or standard conditions for the underlying map that require the property owner to maintain the property in good condition, free of weeds, trash, debris, vermin, vectors, et cetera?
So the conditions of approval are specific to the development of the tract. Also as well as landscape maintenance. And we do have a requirement when the development is developed that there are maintenance requirements that are further binding in the development of when this comes back to the Planning Commission for site development review. So for example, the design of the development would evaluate anti-graffiti coating for block wall design. The roadways would have to be maintained and kept clean. The homeowners association would also have requirements to keep the community clean and maintained. So those are the underlying requirements that are tied to development of a tract map.
Very good, thank you.
Make recommendation.
Motion to adopt planning commission resolution approving a 2-year extension for time for tentative track map 24067.
Second. And that passes. Moving on to 7A, City Attorney Report, City Attorney Sori.
Thank you, Chair Beamsurfer. Yes, I wanted to give an update a little bit. Our office is in the midst of preparing a brownout training. So I will be coordinating and discussing the time and a date. So hopefully we'll be doing that soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 7B, Community Development Reports, Director Monique.
Thank you, Chair. Tonight, I did want to kind of provide some follow-up to the March 19th Planning Commission meeting. At that meeting, there were several discussion points of, that I want to make sure that I am providing follow-up to the commission on. So with that, I did provide a memorandum for you this evening. There's also additional memos available for the public too, if they'd like to review that. But in essence, the overall follow-up to the commission, there were some topics that were discussed, such as more information on the retail theft grant program, storefront vandalism relief program. There was a question about, what, if mobile homes count towards the regional housing needs. Interesting emergency services coordination and, what are we doing for economic development in the city? So I did provide that memorandum for your information, a little bit more about the retail theft grant program. So its features, are to include a comprehensive four-year initiative to combat organized retail theft, and that includes public education, campaign, retailer training, anti-task force officers, establishing and collaboration and information sharing, community cameras, gateway technology, cooperation with prosecutors. So there's several components to it. I would recommend contacting our police department for more information on how this program is being managed. Also, I wanted to talk about briefly the storefront vandalism relief program. And so the question last time was really, who is it supporting? And it's providing financial support to those who have suffered due to acts of vandalism. And the expenses are covered by the program to include repair costs associated with broken windows, damaged doors, locks, graffiti, and other related vandalism. I did provide information on the link to the website to the program, should you have a member of the community that would need that, as well as how to apply for the program. There are, and then just another notable, I won't go through all of the items, but specifically I did want to mention that the city is conducting a 5-year update to our local hazard mitigation plan. And I think this was a topic that was discussed last time of, what are we doing in terms of emergency coordination and communication? I did provide some links on for my city's website that have actual Hemet Community Alert System information. So www.hemet.gov/544/community-alert-system. But I can also provide this to you via on our city's website. So we do have that available. There is also an opportunity to provide input through a survey. That link was provided to you. I would encourage you, if that was, something of interest. I did confirm with our Department of Life Safety that we could go ahead and continue. They did identify a deadline. However, we're okay to go ahead and should the commission desire to participate in the survey, you certainly can. And then also just the last two topics that I wanted to point out that are upcoming community events or current community events that are that promote pride in our community is the Adopt a Street program. It is a voluntary public participation program that provides our stakeholders in the city to partner in beautifying and maintaining public areas, such as roadway blocks, roads located in the city of Hemet boundaries. I did provide the link to that, should you be interested in participating or sharing that information. And then also on April 27th of this year, the city is actively taking steps to hold the it's a day of cleanup, Hemet Beautiful, a community day of service, and that's on April 27th. The initiative encourages community participation in keeping the city clean, and also to motivate residents and local businesses and organizations to come together to pick up litter, remove graffiti, beautify public spaces, and perform other tasks. And also there is a sign up for that for volunteers. And so there is a call for volunteers now, and a link has been provided for your information. That concludes my presentation. Oh, one last thing, I did include also, and we can discuss this, and I can provide follow-up at our next planning commission meeting, the duties of the infrastructure commission that were transferred to the planning commission. So that'll be coming forward to you at the next planning commission meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for this Community Day of Service. Do we have any handouts or anything where some of the businesses can have little handouts that can go in windows to entice?
Yes, I can check with our public information officer, Alan Reyes, to see if we have a flyer available, and I can forward that on to the commission.
Great, I'd appreciate it.
Moving on to item 7C, future agenda items. Director Monique.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. We do have a few items coming forward. I just didn't want to add it to the list without knowing for sure, but we do have one that I know is coming forward, the drive-through restaurant modification. Also, the Freddy's drive-through should be coming forward as well. We're just working through some processing kinks just to make sure we get it ready to go for you, as well as a few other developments coming forward your way.
Looking forward to that. All right, and item 70, Planning Commissioner reports. Director Monique.
Commissioner Clark?
So March 21st, I went to Riverside and did the Planning Commissioners conference, and it just lit my information on fire. I was so energized afterwards and asked all kinds of questions, and we had other city commissioners there. They gave ideas of what their people do. And so I would like to set up a meeting with our community development director, because they're good ideas, and I think they might be good ideas to help me, a layperson, which is basically what the commissioners are supposed to be. And the experts that come up, meaning the staff, really, to find out where they come from on a daily basis in their jobs can help this position sitting here. It was just really energetic. I really, really enjoyed it. It was worth the drive. I drove by myself, had my own music, and then I got to drive home with my own music. And, it was very nourishing. So thank you for letting me go.
Thank you. Commissioner Ochoa?
Nothing to report.
Vice Chair Pep?
Just to report that through my employer, I will be attending an EOC training, which will go hand in hand with some of the discussions you put forth in this memo here. After I've gone through that training, I'd be happy to share a snippet of information about what I learned. And that's all.
Thank you. Chair Beamsterfer?
We had a local fundraiser here in an establishment, the Eagles raised. They had a fried fish dinner and a 50-50 drawing, and it went to Hemet Police Department K-9, and they raised over $3,000 for that event. And then they had a member match that donation, so they matched. Hemet PD was able to raise the Eagles was able to raise over $6,000 for Hemet Police Department K-9 unit. So that was pretty cool to see. Local citizen, there's a couple concerned citizens off Lyon with the whole semi-truck issue. They just wanted me to address their concern. There's now 2 semi-trucks parking on Lyon, near Lyon and Chambers. And of course, we know the more parked there, the more contagious it gets. And a couple local residents have just kind of are about ready to post a city ordinance and put it on their windshield, so at least they know that there's a city ordinance that they can't park there. But I don't know if the city can maybe throw a sign up there that says no parking, you know, all day parking, whatever it may be, but there's two now that are parking there on a regular basis. And what else is there to report? Downtown, I mean, I'm always excited to see whatever's happening downtown. I know there's red, as Citizen Judy mentioned, there are some red tags. And I'm just, we as commission would like to kind of maybe be filled in once in a while as to what's going on and what was proposed. Because I know he had a deadline and I just don't know if he met that deadline or not. But anyways, with nothing else to report besides that, and with there are no further business to be discussed, this meeting will be adjourned to the planning commission meeting scheduled for April the 16th at 6 p.m.